Today I want to make another attempt at intentional camera movement photography. I tried it out last year, some success, some failure, and I'm not sure what we're going to get today. Keep watching and find out. Hope you'll enjoy the video. If you do and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. We're coming into summer now. It's a time of year that I find really challenging to go out and do traditional landscape photography. It's hot, there's lots of people around. I just find it difficult to get motivated to go out. But it is a great time of year to experiment and try things. And as I said in the intro, I want to have another go at intentional camera movement photography. Now, I tried this out last year. I did it early morning, so around sunrise, on the beach, and I think I had some success with the horizontal movement using the beach and the waves and the sky as the scene. But when I tried some other movement, particularly like a vertical movement with some palm trees, it really didn't work out. I wasn't happy with any of the images. And I've decided to just come out today to the local park because we've got lots of trees here, and I'm hoping that might give me some opportunities for some ICM, some intentional camera movement. I'm working on the basis that having, kind of color contrasts and shapes is potentially going to be more important than having great light. I don't know though. As always with these things, it's an experiment. It might work, it might not, but the important thing is to see what I can learn from it. Gear wise, I've bought the camera, I've bought 3 lenses going from wide angle to telephoto, and I've brought a 6-stop ND filter so that I can slow the exposure time down to get camera movement. And all that remains to do now is have a look around and see what might work. That's going to involve a bit of walking around with the camera in my hand, looking for, I guess, the right kind of shapes. So I'm starting off just walking around, got the telephoto lens on, and I'm just kind of looking for anything that I think might make for an interesting sort of blurred vertically image. So I'm looking for maybe some vertical lines, but also for some sort of contrasting colours. I mean, something like that might work. So what we'll need to do is pop on the 6-stop ND filter, and then it's going to be a case of playing around with aperture and maybe ISO to get the right kind of exposure time. So I've got a 1-second exposure at the moment. I think I need to move a little bit more. So basically I've got kind of like dark green in shadows in the foreground, then there's some sort of paler colours and the shapes, the trunks of the trees, and then the green of the trees, and then the blue of the sky. I'm using a 2-second timer, and I'm going to start moving the camera just before the shutter releases. Need to go a little bit higher up, I think. Tricky thing is knowing how much to move the camera. Okay, so shooting down this way, sort of downhill. Again, there's loads of trees in here. In the background is actually an apartment building, but of course it's going to blur out, so it doesn't really matter what's in the background. You know, it's worth a go. Again, still with a 1 second exposure at the moment. So it feels like if I rotate the camera kind of like this, I'm not getting a very pleasing effect, at least not with a longer lens. But if I kind of move the camera in a kind of an arc, using myself as the kind of the pivot point, that seems to work better, at least based upon what I'm seeing on the screen here. The other thing I'm having to consciously remind myself is not to worry about leveling the horizon. What I want is the vertical shapes going up to be vertical. So I'm kind of having to tilt the camera slightly to one side. I think you kind of have to take quite a few shots to see which is going to work the best. Sometimes I'm moving the camera a lot faster and a lot more than other times. I wonder about wide angle. Let's swap the lens over. Wide angle shot. Let's try that. Yeah, I don't think the wide angle anywhere near as good. No, telephoto is better without a doubt. I'm going to try a little bit faster exposure, so I'm just going to bring my aperture down to f8. That should let me get it to about half a second. I want to see what kind of effect I can get doing it that way. Bit more movement. Judging the amount of movement is quite tricky. I think I'm going to go back to the 1 second. In fact, I'm going to see if I can go even longer, maybe 2 seconds. So go f16, 2 seconds. Say so far for this, the sweet spot seems to be about a second. Right, I've taken quite a few shots just walking around here, just playing around with slightly different scenes. Most of them have been shot at about a 1 second exposure. But what I've been doing is playing around with just how much movement I'm putting in there and how fast I'm moving the camera. There's a few of them look pretty interesting on the back of the camera, but what they'll look like when I get them on the computer, I have no idea. You'll already have seen, so you'll have to let me know what you think. If you like intentional camera movement, ICM, you know, that it's a very abstract style, so you know it's not to everybody's taste, but you know, let me know what you think. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, you know, the routine likes, shares and comments are all really appreciated. If you're new here and you want to see what else I get up to, both in terms of normal landscape photography and experimental stuff, then don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. And as always, I really appreciate it when anybody takes time to watch my videos. So if you've taken the time to watch this, thank you very much. And until the next video, bye.